what we do, yeah, I know, yuck. What we do is every time we do this,
God,
we
it's
get like
Mozzalock.
we get like 3 or 4 retards in cards. We don't watch them in advance, so sometimes they actually end up saying something based, and we look like idiots. But we get through all of them. We break down what they're saying, make fun of them, and then we put a poll in the chat, and the chat decides who was the ultimate retard in a car. Okay. Very.
I actually do think I have a theory.
Something.
What's your theory?
Oh,
I think this is like this is their little set, their little stage that they have where they're all alone, and it's like having your own very own sound stage, but it's your car because you're a loser. And
what would another word for that be? That was more filled with safety.
Safe space. Yeah.
Why does this bitch look like Kyle's younger cousin from South
I
Park?
thought you were going to ask, why does this bitch look like me?
It looks like Kyle's little cousin. You know which one I'm talking about?
This bitch is a he or has a really bad hair problem because that person has a mustache.
Oh,
Michael, boy or girl?
Question. Boy or girl, yeah.
It's a girl, but it's like it looks like a woman who used to serve me fish and chips. They do have the odd mustache or chin hair. It's known to happen.
I reckon this is Gorlock's brother.
Well, oh, wait a minute.
Dude.
Well, we'll hear when we hear them.
It's got both. He's very androgynous, isn't he?
It does have a little bit of a mo. It looks like
it does. It looks like it has a mo.
It
has a mustache, but you can do that with hormones. So
it looks like the kind of mustache that Mozza can grow.
Look, there are ladies from certain Mediterranean regions who have that, and they're waxing it all the time. But if you're very gender free, then you probably love that you get a little fuzz on the lip.
She might be. She does have a few tattoos or whatever they are that look very similar to some Jewish script.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's listen.
Hate when people say that wheelchairs are only for people who need them. Because when they say that, what they mean is wheelchair users are for people who are paralyzed. But not everyone who is a wheelchair user, who uses a wheelchair, who needs a wheelchair, is paralyzed. Because if you're going to do away with wheelchairs for anyone who has the physical ability to stand for like a couple seconds, I think we should do away with strollers. Because toddlers can stand. They can walk. They can walk pretty far, actually. If you hold their hand, they can get around fine. You know why we use strollers? Because we do need them.
Because they're fucking babies, you retard.
You cannot tell me that we do not need
wants babies
strollers.
not to have strollers.
And we use strollers for kids who are pretty big, right? 4, 5, 6 years old. You're using a stroller because kids get tired. Their muscles are underdeveloped. Just haven't gotten the chance to grow yet. And you know what? Some adults need strollers too. And that stroller is a wheelchair. So get the fuck over it. We're not in a mass wheelchair shortage, okay? What is your commitment to making disabled people and fat people suffer all the time? If an accessibility tool makes your life easier, you should fucking use it. Because life fucking sucks, okay? And if it makes a difference between you going outside and not going outside, use the fucking wheelchair and go outside. Because life is so fucking short. And if you really cared about people's health, you would know that going outside is better for your health and well-being than not going outside. And being able to live independently can mean the world's difference to somebody. Because that independence can mean getting to the doctors regularly, or going to the grocery store, or going to be able to pick up your meds. If you actually cared about people's health, you would stop discrediting that.
Wow, we're off to a very strong start.
She's clearly not a parent.
Fucking hell, boys.
Straight up, has anyone ever said, "Oh, you can't be in a wheelchair because you're not paralyzed"? Has anyone ever come across that?
No.
She's making this up.
If you don't have a physical disability, like that, you can actually see, they will be like, you don't need to use that.
We're coming into a wheelchair pandemic where there's not enough wheelchairs to go around because there are too many fat people.
She's probably asked for one. She's probably asked for a mobility scooter or something, and she couldn't get it, or electronic wheelchair. And they're like, "Well, you're not disabled." And then from that one thing, it's like, "Well, why do you need one?" And then from this whole thing, she's brought this whole argument into it, and then decided to attack children who have the ability to walk but have little legs and get tired.
That's right. That's the whole thing of why kids or, toddlers get to sit in strollers, because they don't have as big a stride as the adults that are next to them. And they do get tired very quickly and very easily. And I'm sure this fat bitch gets tired and exhausted very easily, having to lump that weight around everywhere. And I'm sorry, you absolute moron, but lose some weight if you've got an issue with. She can only go outside on her wheelchair. She can't just walk outside. She's just got to go outside and get her vitamin D from the sun in a wheelchair.
How did she get in the car?
What type of car is it, man?
What I'm saying, legitimately, if she gets in the car, she gets from the wheelchair to the car. Where's the wheelchair
she's
now?
She's clearly not driving because she's in the passenger seat.
Doesn't look like it from our perspective.
Yeah, she's an American. That accent.
Wow.
So,
I mean that weight. You could have just said that weight, and we would have got it.
This is pretty fucking retarded. Mozza, what do you think of this one?
Kyle's little cousin, man. Years have been rough on him. Oh, fucking dumb bitch. And first of all, we didn't say you
first model laugh of the evening. Nice.
We didn't say you couldn't use the wheelchair. We just called you a fucking fatty.
What are those tattoos? Do you reckon?
Fat sticks. And Michael, you got anything else to say about this fat one? There's so much fucking wrong with this.
Why is the kid getting punished because this bitch is fat? First of all,
yeah, exactly. Like kids didn't do anything other than they've only had a couple of years of life. They have very short legs. They didn't do anything wrong. I mean, this is decade plus, maybe even, I can't tell how fat people, you never know how old they are. She could be 50 years old because the fat hides all the wrinkles. This could be decades of abuse on her body that has led her to this situation. So that's on her. Don't take that out on toddlers.
And I think she's also a little bit salty because nobody wants to give her a baby.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to give her own children, so she's taking it out on the kids.
Wow.
It's disgusting.
Sitting on strollers and breaking them.
All right, well, let's move on to Tard number 2.
So I've been thinking about how weird it is in America. We see American flags everywhere, and it's not like that.
Dude,
I decided
Mozza's sister
flags I see on my 8-minute drive from here, the bank, to Petco. To start, I already see 2. One's here at the bank, other one's at the cemetery across the street. It's behind the trees, but one at the car wash, one at Andy's, one at the bank, and Burger King. They got their own. Someone's house. And of course, there's one at the church from literally the Jesus Camp documentary. That's where this happened, by the way. And this one at Lion's Choice, one at Red Lobster, and one at the car wash. Big one right there. That was 12 flags in 8 minutes. And I know I missed some.
What's wrong with that?
1.5 flags a minute. That's all right.
Seem weird.
So imagine being in a country and seeing the country's flag. What a fucking trip.
I see 2 Australian flags on my way to work every day, and one of them's this old guy that just it's right near where I park to go to work, and he's always out like tending to his garden and stuff like this, and he's just got this flagpole in the middle of his garden out the front with an Australian flag on it. Like the fact that flags now, like American flags or flags of other countries, are becoming like this racist thing, or this, I don't know what it is. It's such a weird premise.
It's because they're very scared of the word nationalism.
Yeah,
and they think patriotism is some sort of, what do they call it, jingoism or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're Marxists.
Did you know Hitler was patriot? Well, no, he wasn't, because he did it to another country, not his own. But they forget that sort of shit. But that's what they bring it. They always try and bring it back to that. That's the dumb thing. Like the fact of the matter is that if you have love for your country, you love your country despite its flaws, not because of it. And all they are taught are the flaws. They're not taught about anything that's good about any country.
But the fact that she even says in her opening statement that you don't see this in other countries.
Yes, you do,
Right?
dude.
Like, how do you know? Have you been to other
yeah.
countries and seen that they don't fly their national flag? Like, are you stupid?
No, she's watched TikTok and no one else has said the same thing. Because it's dumb.
She's on the
So
TikTok
stupid.
I wonder
It's
how many
pretty
pride
retarded.
flags she saw during.
I know it's just
Game
like
on.
you see pride flags all over the place. I'm pretty she's not
Yeah.
complaining about that. I'm sure.
Go to North Korea and find a place that doesn't have a flag.
Blabs, you're an American. How do
I
you feel
am?
about this?
Oh, she's a dumb fuck.
Thank you, Blabs.
Thank you, Blabs.
All right, we ready?
You see more pride flags than any other flag in the month of
Yep.
June in America.
Did you
100%.
say flag it?
No.
Sounded like you said it.
Fucking flag it.
No, so I think she's really stupid. Also, she reminds me of a little pig, Miss Piggy.
Yes, she does.
I can't see it. I can't unsee it now. All right,
Like-
before
being held by boomers of,
Yeah.
well,
Fuck, she got crazy con eyes.
they know what numbers they're talking about. Like, I think in their head, they're like, oh, I made $36,000 in 1980 and you're asking for $50,000 now? So then I dug a little deeper, started looking at housing, apartments. In 2022, the median selling price for a single family house was $507,800.
okay,
In 1980, that same price is equivalent to today's $223,202. In 2022, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment was $1,900. In 1982, that same number was equivalent to today's $737. Like, I actually think that boomers just can't conceptualize how vastly different these numbers are. And I think boomers just have such a hard time conceptualizing this because they never had to fight for jobs. They were at the upswing of technology.
You're going so well. You're going so well.
And then they look at us and they're thinking, entitled. And I'm not saying anyone's like in the right or in the wrong. It's not their fault. Like, they just don't know. Literally just don't know what the fuck I'm going to do when I graduate. And anytime I talk to my parents, both of which are boomers, they're like, stop having such high expectations. Also, I don't want to see any comments about, well, you should have majored in computer science or you should have majored in medicine. I think that if you go to college, you deserve to be able to make enough to live comfortably. I think if you don't go to college, you should be able to make enough to live comfortably, regardless.
I'll start with you, Rhino. You feel like you got something to say about this one?
Oh, I just thought it was hilarious that she's stating like these boomers, like the boomers had it easy, basically. Like, no, there's a lot more jobs out there now than there was back then. I'm telling you that now. And in regards to like house prices, property prices, rental costs, all of that sort of thing, inflation is a thing. And obviously in the current climate that we're living in right now, it's a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, but we're all living through it. It's not that us well, I wouldn't say I'm a boomer. Well,
You are.
in
You
some
are.
extent I am.
But
But
you are.
Like,
100%.
No, only when
boomers,
we're doing our Wednesday shows.
boomers are more so like my parents. They're baby boomers. No, anyway, they understand actually more than a lot of these Zoomers, I will say, than like the way that like life works. It's not necessarily going to be easy, and nobody ever said that it was going to be easy. But the fact that she's come out and actually just stated these things as facts in her eyes doesn't make it true.
Well, no,
Like
her statistics are true. What she's saying, that is true.
the statistics are true.
That's what I'm
based
saying.
on what she's
It's
saying
her
about the
it's her
boomers and everything.
conclusion that was the
Yeah,
problem. Like,
that's
yeah,
it.
literally, if it was the same equivalent, we would be paying $1,200 less a month in worth of rent. That's 100% true. But the fact of the matter is that she thinks that, well, they're looking. People who have actually worked their ass off their entire life and now retired are looking at people that are complaining about having to work as entitled. Yeah, that's where she lost me. Everyone had to work, whether it doesn't matter what you earned. If you had to work your ass off and you're earning $4 an hour or you're earning $30 an hour and you're working your ass off, you're still working your ass off. But she's like, well, it's the money that matters. And that's where she lost me.
But like also too, like my grandfather, when he came over to Australia, like he was working like three jobs
from Greece,
from Malta. He was
I assumed it was Grace. You live in Melbourne, so
he was
good
working
chance.
3 jobs just to, you know, keep a house over the family's head, a roof over the family's head, sorry, and put food on the table and all of this sort of thing. Like nowadays, you can literally work 1 job and it should suffice.
No, dude, you have dude, with what you do to what the average person does, you have no idea what a normal wage is. A single wage for a household does not work currently today. You can't do it.
Well,
It's
I make
near
it
impossible.
work.
You make it work
but
because you don't have anyone else in your house. You're in a higher paying scenario. You're one of the lucky ones, and you've earned the right to earn that 100%. But that's not what you're in the higher echelon when it comes to the people working like that. That's the difference.
What do you reckon, Michael?
She strikes me as a socialist, just a bit of language that she's using. So, I mean, you know, I don't know, not to get too left or right on it, but the value of the dollar has dropped significantly over the last century. So, you know, the way it's worked for people, whether they work or not, whatever, all that stuff, you know, I think we all understand. Yeah, people have always worked hard to, you know, be able to survive. But yeah, you know, it is different now. But I feel like it's different for reasons that she would probably end up voting for unknowingly anyway. You know, she's kind of, she's like, you go to college, you should be able to do. Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. She doesn't strike me as a very free market kind of person. That's all I'm going to say. I also will say that I am the sole breadwinner of this household, wife and 2 kids. It is extremely difficult, and it's getting more difficult every year. And every year, I wonder, you know, how much longer can this last? Because it is getting the inflation and the cost of living, especially here in Melbourne, it's just is rising so quickly. It's crazy. But I don't know if what she would propose to solve it would necessarily. I think it probably would exacerbate it if you know, if it came down to it. That's my take.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get the votes in, boys and girls. Now, with all that said, Blabs, which number are you voting for?
I think they're all very
retarded
good contenders, you know, but I'm gonna go with 3 because this chick doesn't know anything about economics. And I just want to point out, she's bitching about money. How much did those glasses cost? The mascara she's wearing, the lipstick, the earrings, the jacket she's wearing. Just saying.
Oh yeah, she's definitely wealthy and complaining about, like, she's not in any of this problems that she's complaining about.
Yeah, so I'm just curious what she's got.
It's been very strong contenders. Woman. Very strong contenders for fucking Tards and Cards. What about you, Grant? Who are you voting for?
I think number 1 hit off the bat really quickly, and
the strollers.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. Those lazy kids and their tiny legs getting tired. What about the fat people?
What about you, Mozza?
Number 1. Why'd you even have to bring in kids into this? You're just a fat bitch. Lose some weight.
Although, to be fair, some parents let their kids sit in strollers for like 8, 9 years of age and stuff like that. You're like, what are you doing?
What?
Make the kid walk.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
I have seen that where kids way above the age that should be in a stroller are still in a fucking stroller.
Are they fat kids?
No, they're just lazy.
I think 4 is the cutoff.
Yeah,
it? Like that's 4. It's like you walk half the way.
5, 6 years old in strollers still.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's
I've got to convince my 3-year-old to get in the stroller half the time.
I'm going fatty. I'm going.
That's
fatty.
why there's so many fatties.
What about you, Rhino?
Mike?
I'm going number 3 as well as Blabs. This chick actually like really annoyed me.
Yeah, fair, cool. I'm going with the fatty.
Her crazy eyes were very
retarded.
Yeah, that was something
retarded.